It's a Monday morning, I'm up and at 'em, and I am going to go and photograph the sunrise. So let's crack on. Morning everybody, so as I said, I'm up and at 'em today. It's nice and early, hence the head torch and the lack of daylight. I'm in position for my first shot, which is going to be down here, which you won't be able to see, but I'll show you later. And there are a couple of locations I want to visit this morning on the Malvern Hills. Now the Malverns are really local to where I live, and the Malvern Hills are really great. They offer great landscape photography potential. It's not a national park by any stretch of imagination. It's almost like a Disneyland mini version of a national park. We've got about 15 or so hills here, and we've got endless amounts of landscape opportunity. So I am going to wait for a bit of light, and I'm just going to chill out, take my time. So I'm at my first location and I'm ready to shoot for my first shot of the day, and it's this rather impressive view over the Malvern Hills. But I've got to wait for a little while because it's overcast in every direction today, which basically means there's not going to be any light, or at least I'm pretty certain there won't be any direct sunlight, let alone any crazy skies. But as we all know with photography, that could change. So at the moment it's blue hour, it's just sort of just a little bit beyond blue hour. And there's no point shooting a landscape at blue hour because there's not enough dynamic range in the scene and there's no light on your subject, so what's the point? There's no point in shooting a blue hour landscape. But anyway, I'm going to get set up and I'm probably going to do a big stopper exposure. Just got to wait for a bit more light. I've just done a 6-minute exposure, which I think looks perfectly wistful and ethereal. I think that's really nice. There's no light at all today. It's all about ambient light. There's no any directional light from the sun or anything like that, so chances of getting anything amazing are quite slim today, but you've got to be in it to win it, right? So now I'm on to my second location. I've only had 2 ideas of places I'd like to shoot this morning, and then I'm going to call it a day. So this is my second location, and it's this rather cool cave. So what I'm thinking of doing is throwing the wide angle lens on, getting nice and low so I'm looking up at it, so I'll be able to get a lot of the sky in. Now, I might get away with bracketing this because what I can do with the wide lens is stop it right down to like f5, 6, f4, something like that, and I might lose a bit of sharpness on the sides because with wide angles you normally do, but that means I can crop in a little bit, or I could just add a vignette, which I normally do. So how cool is this little cave? Hopefully there's no bats in here or anything like that. Hello bats? No, there's no bats. It's just me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So I've actually come down here in the summer before, and I managed to get creative with a head torch, and got a couple of cool images then. So what I'm thinking of doing, yeah, like I said, it's getting down low, and I might even put myself in the picture if I can stand still long enough. Right, let's get to work. So this next image is just for a bit of fun really. I've got the camera in portrait. I've already taken 2 exposures, and I'm just going to do a third, but this third one is going to have me in the cave. I'm going to be looking out. There's a little bit of sun coming in now, which is good. We've got a little bit of light, so hopefully there'll be a bit of light on me. And I'm wearing all black, which is good, so I should contrast with the front of the cave. However, the back of the cave is black anyway. I'll just get in there and see what happens, as always. Sitting still for even 5 seconds is so difficult. It's a real skill. That looks pretty cool. that's this morning's shoot done, nice and easy, and made a lot easier because I knew the kind of shots I wanted, I knew where they were. I mean, yeah, the light didn't happen, but you know, you don't always get the light, do you? That's the whole fun of the lottery of landscape photography. But while I'm on that point, I've got a few things that I wanted to mention. Right, so I'm going to go through a couple of tips on why I think you should be photographing your own backyard, your local area. Point number one is not to take places for granted. The area that you live in, you might have lived there your whole life, you might have just moved there, and the point is that there's beauty all around us. I know that sounds cheesy, and I know it could be a metaphor, but literally, wherever you live in the UK, I mean, I don't know much further afield than that, but in the UK there are beautiful areas all over the country, and I guarantee you probably don't live too far away from one of these places. I actually moved closer to this place on purpose because of its beauty, and I'm really, really glad I did. So don't take your local area for granted. Point number two is it's easy to get to. So often we can all watch landscape vlogs or photography vlogs, and they can be in amazing locations, and I mean, fair enough, they might live in these locations, they might be lucky enough to. It's not practical to get to these places all the time. And what is practical is to get to your local area. So just keep it simple and just travel less. Think local, act global. No, other way around. Think global, act local. Now the third thing I wanted to say is you can get to know it really well. If it's a place that you've been coming all your life, then chances are you might already know it fairly well anyway. And if you don't, that is a reason to get out and shoot. Get out and hike, get out and walk. You don't even need to bring the camera. You can come on these recce's with just your phone. Take some phone photographs to give yourself an idea of composition or where the light hits certain areas. And the more that you do practice coming to these places, the more that you'll know where the best places to be are at certain times. So my advice would be explore a bit and find the places that work the best. And the only way to do that is to get more familiar with it. Now another tip, another reason why I think you should start photographing your own backyard is because if you use social media, which let's face it, if you're watching this, you are. If you start posting your pictures to social media, then I guarantee you're gonna start getting engagement from people that probably live in those areas, and therefore will be like-minded people, and you can build your own little community and you can bring people together. Even if it's just online, people can post other pictures of areas they've been to, and you can really build inspiration that way. So build a community locally. Another reason, this perhaps would be a perk of successfully working a local location. If you become a master of your craft or of this area, you could become synonymous with the area. So when people say Iceland or Zion National Park, or why can't I think of more than 2 places in the world, or I literally can't think of another place in the world, the Brecon Beacons National Park, any national park, you might already have a photographer in mind when I've said those couple of things. If you gain a social media presence of a particular area that you keep photographing or videoing, then the chances are people will relate you to that place, which is not a bad thing. Now, this final part is, I think, the most important bit. Practice. Because you live so close to this area that you're going to be photographing, it gives you the incentive to get better. You won't get better if you don't practice. The best photographers in the world, did you watch that Peter McKinnon video a little while back when he was talking about being a novice? And if you don't subscribe to Peter McKinnon, then make sure you do, because he's one of the best around. Basically, you're not going to get better if you don't practice. Everyone started somewhere. So if you're at the beginning, if you're at the entry-level stages of your photography journey, then just practice. Even if you're a seasoned professional, you can never, ever know it all, guaranteed. So you won't get any better, or you won't keep learning unless you practice. Because you live close to this amazing area, you can practice as much as you want. So thanks very much for watching this video if you've managed to get this far, everybody. I've really enjoyed this morning. It's been a very therapeutic morning, but very often that landscape photography is therapy. It's the therapy that we need because we can really just get calm and peace, tranquility, or we can photograph the chaos as well that really is going on all around us. Thanks very much for watching this video if you have got this far. If you haven't already, then please do consider subscribing. There's going to be a lot more content coming your way very soon because I'm packing my bags when I get home because I'm actually going to the volcanic island of Lanzarote very soon. I'm going out tomorrow, which should be a lot of fun. So the idea there is just to photograph the amazing Martian landscape that they have over in Lanzarote. Never been there before. I've always wanted to see some volcanic islands or volcanic places. So I think it's going to be really good. So make sure you stick around for some cool content from Lanzarote. But until then, it's been really fun this morning, and I want to say this: like, comment, subscribe. Do leave me a comment if you are new to the channel. Say hello and tell your friends. See you next week, folks. I'm actually going to have to move this out of the way because it's kind of in the way. Seamless.